Crypto Morning TA. Good morning, everybody. It's August 10th, 2021. My name's Matty B, and this is Scaramucci's. This is your morning TA. A brief glimpse into the crypto markets, where the sun's shining, where the wind's blowing, all the humble opinion of this piano. Zamboni bringing the data. Well, the Fear and Greed Index is up to 71 from yesterday's 65. And Nosy Miss News Bomb social media sentiment in a rent-controlled apartment in Queens is at 80. Which means every time people are talking about Bitcoin, it has an 80% positivity rate. Now over on the daily, we've had a nice pump past the 200-day moving average and up above 45K. But that stickler 46K has proven quite the resistance. Now let's see what the hang-up is, folks. Let's let historical norm take us back to some emotional sticking points of interest. Well, it turns out 46K is almost the gatekeeper and the keymaster of this beautiful monstrosity we call the bull's head. We are first introduced to 46K on Tinder back on February 8th. And look at this whirlwind romance. The first date took us from 38K all the way up to 46K. Talk about first impressions. Then after a trip to meet her parents out at the farm at 57K, we got a little gun-shy, started to think twice. And we came back down to 46, but that's when we started to fall in love. Or should I say, lust. Love is more of a mature emotion that grows over time and distance, while lust is more of a chemical reaction, like getting hepped up on goofballs. And these goofballs took us on a roller coaster of lust to new highs we'd yet see or experience. But just like that, the honeymoon was over. And we wound up back at 46K on April 13th. It was really a 2-month whirlwind romance, emotionally bookended by 46K. We almost came down to it on March 25th, but that was just an argument we got into about cilantro. You see, I found out that she didn't like cilantro, and as much as I tried to look past it, I couldn't. But I decided to be the bigger person and let her disdain for cilantro not affect me. And although I did look past it, I never really got over it. And that's the historical relevance of 46K and how it could be adapted into a Woody Allen movie. Now, speaking of adoption, I'd like to take a moment here and acknowledge you, the early adopters of Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Yes, you are the 2% of the human race so far. You're the pioneers in the next monetary revolution, the next parallel structure, if it were. So congrats. You made it into the history books. And how does it feel? Does it feel like you're in a revolution? Not really. Is this what a revolution feels like? I'm not sure. I thought there'd be more violence, actually, to be perfectly honest with you, but maybe that's closer to the end. Now, if you were to ask people who know me what was Piano Matty B's pet peeves growing up, they'd all probably laugh and say, that's easy. Banks and governments. And then they'd laugh again, say, Jinx, buy me a Coke. And I'd say, well, what's so funny about debt, slavery, and oppression anyways? And that's why I rarely leave the house these days. That being said, it's no real surprise that I find myself on this piano bench, spreading the good word on Bitcoin and the crypto markets, and the pristine assets and technology that will change the course of humanity and life as we know it. That's a mouthful and a real stretch. Is it a stretch? And are we not witnessing the next evolution of the internet? And what it can and will do for us on so many different levels? tootin' we are. Now, are we not witnessing sovereign countries who have been oppressed by the heavy hand of the global fiat currency regime, taking back their identity, their culture, and their freedom? Darn tootin' we are. Are we not witnessing the billions of unbanked human beings finally getting the opportunity to exist in a system that has financially handcuffed and relegated them to the outer fringes and expected them to endure their human experience on Earth for under $2 a day? $2 a day. Darn tootin' we are. And although it feels like, for us anyway, that everybody knows about Bitcoin and crypto assets because day in and day out we're in it, but it's not true yet. Not only is it an uncommon knowledge, it's a knowledge that most prefer not to know about. Their willful ignorance can be like an endorphin that numbs the jagged edges of truth and warms the cold hands of reality. If there's one thing that the privilege of sitting on this piano bench creating these musical vignettes for you has given me, it's the opportunity to convince people and spread the word that Bitcoin and crypto assets are the only escape we the people have to take the knees off the legacy banking system that has been holding us down for centuries off our necks. That's it. That's the most important thing. So remember, we're playing the same game as our psychopathic elected elites. That's right, it's a long game. So zoom out and have a fantastic day. BitBoy Crypto Morning Tea. Cha-cha-cha-ching.